Hey everybody, welcome back to my third installment of the Walk and Talk series. Today I'm going to talk about something that we can all relate to in one way or another, and that is client feedback. Now, I used to get stressed as a writer when any kind of feedback came, and I still get stressed when feedback comes from a client now. I think the number one piece of advice that I can give anybody, whether you are new to writing or you have been doing this for a while, is don't take feedback personally. If you take feedback personally, this is going to eat into your morale. You're not going to want to write. You're going to get that dreaded, nasty feeling in your stomach every time feedback comes in. Even the best writers get feedback. Every writer gets feedback. What matters is how writers and agencies respond to the feedback they get. And it's important to point out that sometimes things have to be adjusted due to nothing that was the fault of the writer or the agency. In many cases, the expectations about a piece of writing or content were unclear to begin with. Sometimes things get crossed, and it's nobody's fault. So when you get feedback from a client, the number one thing is to first make sure that you understand the feedback that the client is giving you. If the feedback is not clear, for whatever reason, don't hesitate to ask for clarity. I promise you, clients would rather you ask questions first before you complete a draft or a second draft. Because if you don't ask for clarity and you go ahead and start some revisions off of feedback that you don't quite understand, chances are you're going to have to redo that piece anyway. Make changes based on the feedback to the best of your ability, but if you determine that a piece of content that you've been asked to do is outside of the scope of your abilities, be honest with the client. Just say, hey, I think this is probably out of the scope of what I can do. The key is to use every piece of feedback that you get to improve your skill set. Sometimes the feedback you get is great, sometimes the feedback may not be warranted, but every bit of feedback that you get from somebody can be used on your knowledge set on how to respond to future pieces of writing. And I get it, feedback can slow down your momentum. You've probably already turned a page in, you've moved on, but the client hasn't moved on, and that page really isn't finished until the client's satisfied. That's all I got for you on part 3 of the Walk and Talk series. But how about you? How do you handle feedback?